Hi there, this is Kelsey. This week I'm going to talk about a topic that's a little bit near and dear to my heart, and that is internet connection in rural communities. Growing up in a rural community myself, I know the truth behind the stereotype of the bad connection in rural areas, and the truth is that the stereotype is true. I grew up on a farm outside of a small town, and when I go home, I get at best one bar, if anything. And, even in high school, I had friends who had such bad internet connections that they couldn't watch YouTube videos. Can keep in mind that this is a day and age when most of the kids at school had iPhones or some kind of smartphone, and I had friends who couldn't load a YouTube video at home because the internet connection was so slow. What got me thinking about this was an article, an opinion piece written for CBC News by someone called Ramona Pringle, published on February 7th, so last week, titled, "When it comes to internet access, small towns might be better off without the big telcos." And she states, obviously, about the CRTC declaring broadband internet an essential service, meaning that all Canadians should have access to affordable, reliable, high-speed internet. But this is a very ambitious undertaking, and to date, big telcos have not expanded into rural areas because there's no financial incentive. Why would you spend the money and the resources to build infrastructure out there when you're only servicing a handful of people? But as Pringle points out, this is very risky in an increasingly digital world where people without a good internet connection, they risk falling out of touch, and it's especially bad for businesses in rural areas which struggle to stay competitive with no good internet connection. So Pringle has some examples of small towns that took matters into their own hands and built their own broadband infrastructure. For example, Stratford, Ontario has been running its own internet service since 1990. A number of municipalities in Muskoka have joined forces in order to bring fiber optic connections to the communities in the area. Coquitlam, BC, residents are able to access unlimited high-speed internet for just $20 a month. And then there's even an example of a small town in Alberta with just 8,500 residents who created their own community-owned and operated network, which is much cheaper than the Rogers or Bell. So basically what Pringle is getting to in this article is that with all these smaller ISPs, it's really good for the internet marketplace. It's going to lead to more competition, and the big telcos are going to be forced to drop their prices or offer localized deals if they want to get these customers. And then, that leads to better competition and more choice for Canadians, which is what we all want. Which is, a nice idea, but probably what's going to happen is after these small ISPs they do all the hard work of building the infrastructure and getting it all put together, the big telcos are just going to swoop in and buy them, and there won't be any more competition than there was when they started, which is a little bit negative, but probably the truth. Anyway, that's all I had to say about that. Thank you.